let's see. There we are. It's recording. And I'll
Oh,
just send you a copy after, or you can
yeah, no
record it.
problem. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so
So
much. I just have a couple of questions. So where are you in the world?
I'm in Denmark.
Are you in Denmark?
Yes.
Okay, I see.
And
I see unknown language on your Facebook page.
yeah,
Could
yeah,
not identify.
it's kind of gibberish for everyone but us, Danish and Norwegian and Swedish is almost the same.
You can
Um,
understand each other.
yes. Yes. If we
Mm.
speak slowly, or if we read something, we can easily understand each other.
How about is it Suomi, Finnish?
Finnish, that is completely different.
Completely different.
Yes, which is kind of strange. But
Yeah.
we don't understand a single word of their language.
Oh, that's interesting. My husband started to learn Swedish a bit,
Yeah,
so he has been learning it for a while and
yeah,
repeating it. Sounds interesting.
yeah.
I can see some words, and
So where are you again?
I'm in Vancouver,
Yeah,
British Columbia, here in Canada. I'm originally from Russia.
yeah. I thought
Hmm.
I had seen something Russia with you somewhere. I'm not sure if it
Yeah,
was,
it's possible. So even though most of things I do on Facebook are in English. So thank you
yeah.
so much for taking your time for this.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so I've been doing a little bit of learning in the tarot field, and I'm still in. So I'm kind of gaining some knowledge and experience.
Mhm.
So I'm really value your
Yeah.
participation. I wonder if you have any defined question, or if you want to just go with the flow and see. Because I've had the
Um,
chance to lay out a bit of cards. I will ask some questions and you might answer directly or in your head, whatever you prefer.
yeah. Well, I think it's always, I think it's interesting, kind of, where am I going in my life?
Mm-hmm.
What is my direction? If we're talking about, the future, how will it go, with my plans and the things that
Mm-hmm.
I would like to do and work on, and, all those things. How will that work out for me?
Yeah.
What's out
So
there for me?
yeah, just saying right away, it's not something set in stone. It's just kind of
No.
like a tendency that I see it, and sometimes it's 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 accurate.
Mhm.
Actually, that is quite fun. But
Yeah.
I would say right away that the spread I did, it's like it looks really great. So it looks
Okay.
like I have this easy time to talk about it because I don't see any problem here.
No.
I mean, again, I'm not a god, okay?
Can I
Uh,
ask you a favor?
yeah,
If you already have the cards laid out, can I ask you to take a picture of them
of course.
for
I'll
me?
send you the picture. Yeah,
Great.
I'll
Great.
send you the picture. That's what I
I would
do.
love to see.
Yeah, so right now I'm doing kind of this general spread from past, what brought you here to this point, how things are in the current moment, and what what's what's the tendency for the future. It feels like so you've been doing a lot of things. It will be vague, but bear with me. So you've been doing a lot of things that actually brought you recognition at this point. So you've been doing
Yeah.
probably something and you really gained like trust from people, even admiration, and it was successful. And it wasn't an easy victory. I mean, it took effort. It feels like right.
Mhm.
It's not something overnight. It was a perseverance at work, so that it allowed you to get to this point. And it feels like it's a stable situation. Flying cards. Stable in a way that kind of, 4 is a number of stability. Being in a place that you really like doesn't mean that you don't want to move forward, probably,
Mhm.
but it feels like even in personal life and in professional life, it feels like it's stable for you. How is it? What do you think? Is it like, uh, even though you have aspirations for the future,
Mhm.
does it feel like you kind of have this basis that you really are satisfied with?
it seems to me, it seems like it's interesting. I just had a talk with another hypnotherapist yesterday about this, that I really want to push forward to have more clients, more success.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of the reasons I think I find it difficult to do is that I'm pretty comfortable where I am,
Mm-hmm.
business wise. So
Yeah.
I get in what I need, but to fully be comfortable, I would like to have some more work.
Yeah.
So on one hand, I'm comfortable where I am. On one hand, I want some more.
So
Does that make sense?
you nailed it, right?
Hmm.
It's the flip side of stability is stagnation.
Hmm.
So if you think about it, right, it's kind of like in between. On one thing, it's good to be in a stable place. On the other, is it getting old? Is it just maybe you could do more? Like it's the normal human condition, I guess. So it
Yeah.
feels like emotionally you are in a good place. I mean,
Yes.
maybe even in
Yes.
personal
Definitely.
life, it's like everything's fine. It's fulfilling and it's
I,
going
I don't
well.
I don't think that I have felt mentally stronger than I do now
Oh,
ever. So
awesome. So that's
it's.
I have 10 of cups, which is like great emotional state.
Mhm.
It feels like at this point you feel like you're taking a bit of a pause, though. I don't know if this
Mhm.
maybe related to the circumstance, maybe it's your own decision, and it feels like it's interesting that you mentioned about the stability factor.
Mhm.
You're kind of holding to your current situation, which is comfortable and good,
Mhm.
and like a little bit nervous maybe about losing some of it, or going into an uncomfortable place of new ventures. It's like holding to the good that you already have, like being with it, and at the same time taking a pause, maybe reflection for what's possible, because if there is this experience that you're probably looking at, an experience that probably um, will bring more of different things, and and the wealth as well, so financial gain. Maybe even you've started a couple of things, like you entered the group, right, with Lori. Maybe something else that you kind of started to do outside of your comfort zone and seeing how it goes, or maybe thinking about it.
There
So I
could be.
wonder what maybe you could think about some experiences that you've been considering lately to
Mm.
put in place.
Oh, I have many. I
Yeah.
I have many. It's I keep thinking of new things that I would like to do and work with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I started a new little venture today with a sexologist and do some work with him.
Mm-hmm.
Offering services together, things like that.
Yeah.
And I have, you know, I have the next 10 courses I want to create sitting in the back of my head. You know,
Mm.
I would like to teach this, do my hypnotherapy, teach
Mm-hmm.
in Danish and English. I have lots of things. I want to develop more my own techniques. Um, I work in a niche where pretty much nobody else dares work. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's I'm very unique, and I want to make that 10 times better.
10 times better,
Just
right?
make it. It's great as it is, but I don't see a reason to stop there just because it works. Let's make it over the edge work. You know.
Yeah, I wonder in relationship to this abundance of ideas that you have and projects and everything that really looks so appealing, like
Mhm.
to to consider and to develop. Where is the place for this very calm reflection in it? I mean, is if any, if you think about it, what is it in this whole process? It can be overwhelming, can be like a lot of things. Where is the place for rest and kind of like this more slow reflection, or maybe internal this connection to some sort of intuition? I don't know if it speaks to you. What is
Mm.
it for you specifically?
Well, I think for me, the reflection on things kind of comes and goes throughout the day. I don't work hard. I'm not busy 24/7. I have a lot of ideas, but like I also said, I'm also very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't start building on new ideas just now because I feel like I have plenty to do in building my business.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe build one more course that I can do. Making a new course for me is pretty easy because I know my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't want to set out with 10 new ships. So I do have the time to reflect, but I
Mm.
tend to see that when I have the time to reflect, I usually waste my time on time wasters, on Facebook,
Ah,
you know,
okay. Okay, okay.
which is one
Mm.
of the things that I really want to change. I want to be more efficient with my time because I also know that if I want to up my business, the right way to do that is obviously work some more of the time that I'm wasting. That's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a no-brainer, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Um,
yeah, so it feels like this is a bit controversial. I mean, taking a pause can change into something like time wasting sometimes.
mm. Oh, I don't feel like I'm taking pauses because I don't feel like I work.
That's interesting. Okay, so I won't stress on that too much because it
Um,
might mean something, might not.
yeah.
Might ring a bell, might be maybe aside. But on moving towards the future advancement, it feels like you are persevering. So you're going forward with your ideas. It's like Six of
Mhm.
Swords, moving forward, calm waters, and having all you need with you so that you can really find your way wherever you are going. And I will say that you got two coolest cards ever. You got the Magician and the Emperor, which are like mastery, all right?
You
Development of
gotta tell me
skills
what they
like
mean because they sound great, but I have no idea.
yeah,
So
so Magician is about mastery. So you feel probably, or you will get to the point where you really feel that you are at your best with what you're doing, at your skill, you're just great, and maybe you are
Mhm.
already getting there. And Emperor is about building an empire in a way. So all the qualities you need to build something big and strong. Like on the flip side, there is a little bit of authoritarian thing related to Emperor. So a little bit of this, moving forward, charging thing. But on the good side, it's optimistic, it's energetic, it's lots of knowledge, lots of power in this movement towards your goal, like this very goal oriented.
Mhm.
So it feels like having the skill, having the mastery of maybe even more than one thing, I suppose.
It makes sense. It makes sense to me.
So it's the juggling of elements,
Mhm.
like many elements that you have together with this capacity to move forward and being goal oriented. It feels like it's really a favorable how I see this
Mhm.
from the spread,
Cool.
moving forward towards what you want to achieve. So yeah, that's what came
Mhm.
up to me. I didn't do anything specifically, so it was random. So I really believe it's a
Mhm.
great combination what we
Well,
got here.
it makes sense for me in terms of I want to build my business. I want to make it to a level where this goes big, and
Mm.
I can see the empire being built in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think, in the way that I work and with my personality in this, I'm a pretty relaxed person. I'm easy to talk with. I have a lot of ease talking to friends and clients and making new friends and all these
Mm-hmm.
social aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I also see that when I talk to people, when I am coaching another hypnotherapist, stuff like that, you know, I do take charge and I do start talking, being the coach, being the teacher, pushing forward,
Mm.
and it makes good sense for me that if that is how you describe the emperor, that makes perfect sense for me.
It's a
Um,
leader. Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
leader. So
yeah,
with a big L, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And the
from
magician, first of all, I've been called a wizard for what I do for years now.
you see,
So it's that's kind of funny, but at the same time, you know how it is when we work on these things, when we work with our skills, we do get better and better. And as we get better when we're working with, whether it's hypnosis or magic or whatever it is, um, as we get better, the results become overwhelmingly better.
like exponentially almost, right?
Yes.
Mm.
And when that happens, we take that to heart and we become, you know, again, so much better than, out of proportion better again. And we can really do a growth ladder that goes so fast.
Mm-hmm.
The
Interesting.
confidence
Yeah.
goes through the roof. And that's very much where I see myself in
Mm-hmm.
so many ways. I see that part of me is just shooting through the roof because I start to, I think everyone who's a therapist at some point doubted their own worth. Am I
Oh
really
yeah.
good enough? And like
Yes.
all this stuff,
Especially in the beginning.
Yes, yes, and then you start seeing result and you're like, maybe it was luck, you know. And then, suddenly you have consistent results and you have to kind of start believing that, okay, maybe you're pretty good.
If you were able to get to that point, I mean, many people
And
abandon it before
yeah,
this happens.
but
Yeah.
but see, that's where I've been persistent. Now I've done
Mm-hmm.
this for a few years, and this is all I'm doing. I do nothing else but hypnosis, and that changed everything. So the perseverance and building the empire and building my skills definitely speaks to me. Um, at the same time, I'm learning a little more myself about being vulnerable, about allowing myself to be a human being, allowing myself to make mistakes, to be you know um, that it's okay to not be perfect, that it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to it would be okay, for example, to post this video on Facebook and say, this is a look into how I am, and not being the super powered person that can handle everything,
Yeah.
because none of us are, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But
If you think about this image of a king or the emperor, so they have to really hide some parts of themselves, right?
mhm,
So
yeah,
it's like they have to be strong all the time. This kind of thing. Yeah. So
mhm,
there is a flip
yeah,
side of what is it that it's important to be like more than that, more than this image, right?
mhm, yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
But still, being the emperor, like you said, there's also a force behind it, and the unstoppable force that will make the results come to whatever you work with. And I see me very much there, but I also see me, being an empathic person
Mm-hmm.
while getting there. The way for me to get there is to help people. So you need to have some compassion and understanding of us as people. And the way
Yeah,
you can best understand is to be a person, you know, and not
sure.
be a mindless robot somewhere.
Mm.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, makes total sense, and
Mhm.
especially since you mentioned it, so it cannot not make sense, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yeah.
talking
No, I know
about
what you mean.
yeah, so that's great. So thank you so much. That's pretty much it. So
Mhm.
looks awesome. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah, I
I'm
would
just
love that.
curious about your specialty. So what is erotic hypnosis actually?
Well, let me tell you, there's in what I do, there are several factors.
Mm.
There's the fun side and there's the serious side. Which one do you want to hear about first?
uh, seems to me like a very balanced thing. So whatever.
Okay. Well, you have to pick one because I don't know
A
which one to pick.
series.
Okay. Well, the serious side is I have a hypnotherapy niche that is I help women who have trouble climaxing to break
Hmm.
through to break through their barriers so that they can have the sex life that they truly want. Um,
Yeah, and I suppose
and
this problem can really have a ripple effect over the whole life of a
oh
person.
yes, yes.
It's not just like oh, whatever.
It's interesting. When you work with hypnotherapy, it's what people come to me with is always a symptom. So the
Hmm.
symptom is that they can't obtain orgasm, but that's never the reason. The reason is somewhere in their past, in their love life, in usually it's in the past somewhere.
Hmm.
There's some kind of blockage that we need to work with. And of course I do all kinds of other hypnotherapy, but this is what I'm branding myself with, saying this is what I do.
Hmm.
And there's so many people, so many women out there who's struggling with this. I just found 2 days ago some statistics from the US, but I figure they're kind of the same in Denmark and Europe, at least, that said that somewhere between 5 and 10% of all women, assuming women who is in the age group where they are sexual beings, 5 to 10% of all these women have never had an orgasm. Never.
Yeah, that's a lot. If you
Um,
calculate the numbers, it's like
mhm.
a
Yeah.
whole crowd of people.
And
Yeah,
if we're looking at women who are not satisfied with how often they manage to have an orgasm,
it's even
then we're
more.
talking all the way up to almost 50%. That is half of all women.
That's a lot.
And, this is something that, my experience is that, unless there's something physically wrong, which is usually not the problem, unless you have something like that, then it's pretty easily fixed. And that is what I do.
Yeah, thinking
You know,
about the symptom. So if it's a symptom, I suppose um, going kind of into the root cause, if you like this term, or in just
Mhm.
the reason for that, I suppose that other areas of life are affected in parallel. So for sure.
Yes,
So this is just one expression
yes. So,
this
it can be
reason.
something with an overly protective mom when they were small. When they were little, maybe a mom that would keep telling the girl, nice girls don't do that.
Hmm.
You know, that can ruin a woman's sex life completely. What mom says is always true. That's always
Yeah, that's the
so.
thing to think about when you're a
Mhm,
parent.
mhm.
Sure.
No, it really is.
Yeah, it's like it's just there. The mom is one of the first maybe the first hypnotist you have in
Mhm.
life. You
Yeah.
meet in life. It's an authority
Yeah.
figure, the closest to you, emotionally attached. Yeah, authority for sure for many years before you start to question, and
Mhm.
even then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we are, also in a positive way, we are manipulated by our parents our whole life. Sometimes even after they pass away, because we will keep the memory of them, and we will keep the things that they told us, and we will keep reminding ourselves, even if it's not true.
A program.
Yeah, just
Mm.
running sometimes a bad program and keep running it, and essentially ruining the quality of life doing it. But we
Mhm.
keep doing, we all do it, you know.
Yeah, we all
So,
do it.
so
Absolutely.
that's something that I find it incredibly interesting to read about, to talk to people about who has understandings and opinions about it, because there's so much in it. We are constantly affected. Just like this meeting, you know,
Mhm.
I provoked some new thoughts in you about being a mother. You know, that's a programming right there.
Yeah.
Just like you were telling me that you believe from reading the cards that I will have success. And that very well might motivate me to work harder.
Absolutely. It's all
It's
a
all
loop,
programming.
yeah, dynamic loop that we're having.
Yes. And,
Yeah.
just like I'm sure, you've tried this. Somebody gives you an unexpected compliment. You meet someone just passing by at a supermarket and someone says, "You look really nice.
You're like,
Have a great day." And you can live off that for a week, right?
yeah, that's
You
true.
know, and we're all like that. But at the same time, if someone instead of giving you a compliment, bumped into you and then yelled, "Watch where you're going," that could ruin days for some people.
Yes.
So it's all programming. Everything we do, everything we experience. And the thing is, when I work, what we can do is we can put those negative experiences away.
Mm-hmm.
We can send them some forgiveness. We can build up a new self-image. And in this case, you build up the image of being a woman who has let go of everything that would hold her back, a woman who is everything that she really wants to be. But she is also, sensual, sexual, maybe open-minded, free-spirited.
Yeah, there's a lot
Um,
of
yeah,
shame,
yeah,
this kind of
and
feelings around the sex life.
she's orgasmic. She
Mm-hmm.
is perfectly capable of having a satisfactory sex life. So that's what I work with people. And it's the most wonderful job in the world. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
going in and I want to say saving some people's lives. That's what happens. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
So
very impressive.
thank you. So that's my everyday work. I usually say that this is what I do in the daytime. Now the other thing is what I do in the nighttime, so to say,
Mm-hmm.
um, because I also one of the things that I discovered on my own is that hypnosis is an amazing sex toy.
Oh, I
Because
heard about it. I don't know
yes,
much about it, but I
yes,
certainly heard about this. you know.
yes, and just the fact that I don't remember. Do you have some hypnosis background too?
Oh yeah, I'm a
Yes, yes. I
hypnotherapist.
thought
Yeah.
I thought so. Um, just the fact that you can take your imagination and you can any experience you can pump it up to much higher than 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all do it. Now take that happiness and just make it as strong as you possibly can, and then make it 10 times stronger than that. Now you can do that exact same with sexual pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for sexual pleasure, joyfulness to stop at 100%. There's no upper limit. If you can imagine how it would feel, you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you can take, all the volume controls on your sex life and just crank them up. You know, you can use it as in a playful setting. I teach, not surprisingly, it's typically men who buys the course where 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 you can learn to hypnotize and give these suggestions to whoever you're playing with.
Mm-hmm.
And you can use it in infinite ways. You can use it in if you want to be a little raunchy in the bedroom, you can use it to make imaginary ropes and tie people down. So it's just like a hand stick. You can make it to include non-existing sex toys. You can make it so that whenever you touch a person, they will feel extreme erotic pleasure, no matter where you touch them. Sky's the limit.
Need to
It's so
experiment with this. My husband is a hypnotherapist too. How come we've
yeah.
never done this before?
I'll, I'll,
It's a shame.
I'll be happy to have a talk with you about it. And give you guys some pointers. It's great, great fun.
Great
And I
fun.
do
This
this.
sounds like.
I teach people with it. I play with it in my own sex life because it's the best tool in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I have gone out now that we're in the pandemic. There's not really anything going on, but I've gone out to many like swingers clubs and do shows out there, hypnotic shows with a sexual twist to them, and to fascinate and entertain people with this. And it's just fun.
Yeah,
It's
interesting. That's
you
that's
know
really, I like the idea of tuning up good feelings, because we tend to tune up bad feelings much more.
mm,
You
yeah.
know?
I mean, like what we just do everyday life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
we're amazing at making up catastrophes in our head.
And when it's something good, okay, well, it's
Yeah,
good, but what's next? What bad thing is out there? Let me blow it out of proportion just for a
yeah,
sec.
yeah. No, that's absolutely what we do.
Hmm.
It's I think it's really interesting that we tend to have those. We prepare for the catastrophe all the time. But what
That's,
if it won't work?
yeah, maybe
Where
it's just like our nature that
yeah, but
prompts
we
us to do this, right?
we we should be thinking, what if it'll work? How awesome would that be?
Yeah,
You know,
it sounds more motivational for sure. So ramping up good feelings.
mhm.
Mm.
Here in Denmark, it actually comes from Sweden. Have you heard of Pippi Longstockings?
Yeah, sure.
It's a
Yeah, it's
children's
quite
book.
popular in Russia.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And somewhere in there, in one of the books, there's a little thing that she says that has in Denmark become like a motivational quote.
Mm.
And she says, "I've never tried that before, so I can probably do it." You know,
Yeah, it sounds really good. Sounds great.
and it's something that we keep reminding ourselves of. Saying, it's a good way of thinking. I've never done that before, so I probably can. She doesn't know that she cannot, so why wouldn't she be able to, right?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the instances when you tried to do this before it didn't work. That's a bit harder situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but when you didn't, but it stops people, right? Because it's an unknown. It's
mm,
uncomfortable.
yeah, it's terrifying, the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it with the wrong glasses, from the wrong perspective.
Everything is
It,
hallucination. Everything is just.
yeah.
I'm like, okay. Sometimes I'm in the midst of a feeling, and then I think, well, come on, I know it's all made up, but I still feel it.
Yeah,
And I'm like kind of split. Well, I know it's all made up, but I still feel it.
yeah, yeah.
This kind of thing.
Feelings are a trip. They're and you can't counter them. Your subconscious mind is a liar.
Yeah.
You know, it'll say whatever you want to hear just to get the job done. You know,
So stay
um,
put. The most important job
I
is to
think
stay
so.
put.
I think so.
Mm.
Um, whenever your subconscious mind has forced you to take that extra piece of cake because you needed it, that has never ever been true.
Yeah.
There's no truth in. You never need that second piece of cake. You don't need the first one either. You know, but that's how we think. And
Yeah. Something happens.
once we get our mind into that track, we're just stuck there until we have that piece of cake and we can finally rest. So it's like having an angry child with you all the time. I'm just gonna hold my breath until I get my way. You know.
Yeah. So, but it's like Lori's idea. It's not hers, but she conveyed it beautifully in this ride the surf.
Mhm.
So when this emotion starts to build up, well, usually it doesn't last unless we perpetuate it
Mhm.
actively. So adding into this furnace more wood, just keep it going. But on itself, it will subside quite quickly. So we can, easier said than done, always, right?
Well, yeah.
I like these things in theory.
Mm.
Then in practice, I'm kind of like, I see ya. I see ya.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
at
funny.
the same time, if you decide, when we say easier said than done, then we have already decided that it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
It's one of the traps.
we should start deciding it's going to be easy.
What if it's easy?
Yeah, well, exactly. I'll do it. It's going to probably be easy. I never tried it, so I don't know other than I don't know that it's hard. It's going to probably be easy enough.
Like flipped the right. I like it
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a self-hypnosis all the way.
absolutely. And we hypnotize ourselves constantly. That's all we do, I think.
We do nothing else.
Whenever we've painted ourselves into a corner mentally, we did it.
We did it.
We decided to go and sit in that corner. We didn't see it coming until we were stuck, but we did it. So, you know,
So liberating, and to say at the same time, like, oh, it's me. But it gives you the power of getting out of there, right?
Yeah,
It gives you the power, because if we are like victims of the circumstance, then it's hard to change anything. If we think that we have power, then we can go and change things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, thank you so much for sharing. It's so interesting, and it's also something that I don't know much about.
Mm-hmm.
So I was mostly at first, like all beginners, I was into like weight loss, smoking. Now I'm smoking. No smoking for me. No, just not mine. And suddenly I thought I want to work with creative things somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe creative blocks, maybe increasing creativity, something like that. So it's a beginning. I don't know yet where this goes. I switched into a coaching model more than hypnotherapy per se.
Mm-hmm.
So trying this, and
I think it's a great combination.
Yeah, like the more I learn about different modalities, the more I see similarities, and that things, they talk about the same things from using different terms.
Yeah,
basically they talk about it's the same human beings after all.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more rituals and hypnosis, a little bit different type of rituals and coaching. It's just, any conversation is hypnotic, any self-talk is hypnotic, and it's just people don't always like the term hypnosis, but or they have so many misconceptions. But to be honest, people like guided meditation, but they are afraid of hypnosis. I always find it's kind of funny.
It's just two sides of the same coin. It's and you can argue, coaching is just slow hypnosis.
It's kind of slow, more on into better waves, less into deeper states. Depending on
if you are working with a person, in my perspective at least, some people might argue that that's not how it is, but I believe if you are working with a person to either, in a positive way, manipulate them into a result they want, or you're working with a person so that they will gain their own insight to get that result, that's hypnosis. You are manipulating someone's subconscious mind. Sometimes you do it through their conscious mind, which would be coaching or psychology. Sometimes you do it directly with the subconscious mind, and then it's more direct hypnosis, but it's all hypnosis. We're always
that's why it's slower. It might take more sessions to get through the conscious mind.
So you want to find out, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Who depends on the person. Some people find it overwhelming that it's just bam, fixed. Some people would like to take it slower,
gradually.
And kind of sink into it a little more easily, and that's fine too. We got to work with what we prefer, which is why we have both coaches and hypnotherapists. So.
And I'm kind of like neither here nor there. Finding my way and fighting the fears and those beginner stage.
If you want to have a talk about that at some point, let me know.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I guess we'll see each other on the call this Wednesday if you're going
Yeah.
to be there, because I need to catch up and watch some previous calls, because it's so difficult to watch on Facebook, like technically, because I cannot increase the speed.
Yeah.
That's what I do, like 1.5.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
No,
it's like 1 hour, and
I can do better than that.
it's a bit long. Anyways, it's so valuable, and Lori is so inspiring. Her
Yeah,
example
she's
is like,
fantastic.
oh
Yeah.
wow, I
So,
don't know how she
yeah.
does it. She's like,
So,
anyways, she's
yeah.
great. So we'll see.
But it's just a last note on that on Lori. It's kind of interesting because, she used to be really, really insecure in regards of doing videos and stuff like that. And when you see her today, you don't see that at
No,
all. She just shines every time. I don't know how she does it. She's cool. So
yeah, with videos, I just recently started my YouTube channel, and it started to morph into something weird. Funny enough, so I kind of don't have a problem with being in front of a camera. However, I have a problem of being kind of professional. So I like to fool around, and that's what I'm doing on my YouTube. I kind of want to take a serious message and flip it the way that it's kind of like funny.
but that's just you being you.
Yeah, probably. So I'm just
and
experimenting.
you're gonna find, yes, it might scare off a client, but it might attract 10 others.
Yeah. So, and probably the people who are scared off, I don't want them in the first place.
No.
Yeah, it's like better this way.
I think for most of us, if we can deliver a product that is good, that's of course key. But if we can do that, all we have to do is be ourselves, and those who feel like we're a good natural match will be excellent clients for us.
Yeah, so that's my idea for this year. We'll see how it goes. So throwing in lots of things into the mix. It's like a mixer, like but I afraid sometimes I open the lid and it's like this is my metaphor for today. Yeah, so happy to get to know you, and we can talk more at some point.
Yeah. And I just wanted to make sure before I turn off the recording, would you mind if I post this whole video on Facebook? Would that be okay?
I don't mind at all. So I love being on everywhere. So can I use this video for my channel as well?
Absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Because I was also looking into interviewing people. I actually started doing it before, but the format was not great. I want to do it a bit more in a dynamic way. I don't know how yet. I want to bring people in, like talk to them, exchange, this kind of thing, connect. Because I crave connection. I just don't have it like enough in my life.
Here's what we can do. You post this video and saying, I asked Kel Peterson if he would help me to work on my tarot cards, and we ended up having a great talk, something like that. And I can say I invited Tatiana to show me tarot cards, and we'll kind of pretend we're both the hosts.
Yeah, let's do that. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure.
I'm going to keep that in the recording so people know.
Yeah. In the beginning, you can like cut it into to create some sort of expectation. What happens? I don't understand. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. It was so great to talk to you.
It's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you again. Definitely. Let's stay in touch.
Let's stay, and
all right.
Hopefully we're in the same place. I mean, you're much further than me, but I mean, in the Facebook at least.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You take care, okay?
Bye-bye. Have a good day. A good night, actually.
Thank you.